Will somebody tell me if we're supposed to start the program?
Freeman hits the ball to right field.
Into right field. She is gone. Oh, what a pass. Doncic, perfection there on the assist. A little magic from Doncic. Stafford takes the shoulder, takes a shot downfield. It is caught by Nakua. He pinned him on his shoulder and made the catch.
One of a kind player. One of a kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Tipped up and in on the count. LeBron James at the buzzer.
This game's in the Admiral refrigerator. The door is closed. The lights out. Butter's getting hard. The eggs are cooling, and the Jell-O is jiggling.
Mainly, I wanted to talk to you because you are in San Diego in the moment. And when I think about the Chargers, even though they are Los Angeles,
They still have San Diego in their hearts.
they still have San Diego in their hearts. Exactly.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
even some of the like restaurants and bars still has like the old San Diego Chargers logo.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yep. I want to talk
Yeah,
a
they-
bit about Justin Herbert and the Chargers' outlook this season. Last season, I feel like last season kind of followed a very much of a mundane pattern that the Chargers have been on for years and years and years. They look good, they look promising, but in the end, they just can't get it done. They can't, like, in some years, they can't even make the playoffs. Last year, they made
Yeah.
the playoffs.
and they looked out of it. You know, they look like a team that shouldn't have been in the playoffs.
And they got smoked
know,
by the
they-
Houston Texans.
Yeah, like really bad. Like what was the score? Wasn't it like 30 to like 10 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
The Chargers improved from the year before because they didn't make playoffs, and you know they look good under Jim Harbaugh, first year head coach. But yeah, no, when they came into the playoffs, they just looked like they shouldn't have been there.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it kind of, and they've made roster improvements through the offseason. They obviously have,
Through the
they have
draft.
veterans, they have
Yeah.
they have young guys, but the question in line is, are they a legitimate contender in the AFC West? Or yeah, they're in the AFC West, right?
Yeah, I still think that is the Chiefs division.
Right. The
You know,
Chiefs aren't
'cause
going
you can't-
anywhere.
You can never count out the Chiefs, even if they don't play as good as they have in years past. That's still the Chiefs division. You can't.
It's always
count
going
them
to
out.
be, as long as Mahomes is still there, the Chiefs, like as long as they're still
Yeah.
working with their guys, it's always
Yeah,
gonna be
it's like the same time period when the Broncos had Peyton Manning. It was the AFC West was the Broncos division
Well, yeah,
for all-
exactly.
for all those years when they had Peyton Manning.
Right. Exactly.
And now it's like it's the Chiefs now. The Chiefs are the ones in control of the division. So
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's always going to be the detriment to any team, really, in terms of the AFC, especially particularly the AFC West. But I think there's just I can't really put what it is that's preventing the Chargers from really fulfilling their full potential, and I think it comes in question is Justin Herbert the guy at quarterback for them?
like there's no denying Justin Herbert's a talented quarterback. There's no denying that he is a great player. You know, he's already done some things with only being in I think he's entering year 6.
Mhm.
Like some of the things he's done, it's like we've seen very few guys do it. So there's no denying how great of a quarterback Justin Herbert is. But he hasn't really shown that he can be the guy to carry them to a deep playoff run. He hasn't really been able to prove that he can be like the franchise quarterback for years and years to come.
Exactly. It kind of reminds me of when the Rams went to the Super Bowl in 2017, 2018 versus the Patriots. They had Jared Goff as their quarterback, young quarterback, full of potential. But really, with that Super Bowl loss, it came into a lot of question was Jared Goff going to be the guy for the future? And ultimately, the Rams decided he was not going to be the guy. They ended up trading for Matthew Stafford. Does the Chargers need to do something like that? Like where they have a young quarterback that has potential, but seemingly give up on him to get something that's gonna be
The,
more assurable.
see, the thing is would the Chargers be willing to give up anybody for Herbert? Would they be willing to give up like key pieces of their team right now? And I don't know if the Chargers are willing to do that
Because there's no
because
guarantee for anything.
yeah, and because they've already spent, like you said, they've definitely bolstered their roster through like the offseason, through like signings, trades, the draft,
Yeah,
whatnot. But like even this current team, like yes, they made the playoffs, but they still haven't proven that they can be a legitimate contender. And I
right.
don't know if the Chargers are willing to buy to get over the hump.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it just comes in question to like what's their full potential. I, I could honestly see them having another good regular season. I think last year they went what was it
11. I think
11
they
and
went 11-6.
11
Yeah.
and 6?
Yeah,
That's a
11 and
decent
6.
regular season. It's
Yeah,
not terrible.
it was an improvement on the year before because I think the year
Right.
before I think they only won like 5 games the year before.
Right, exactly. I can see them making the playoffs again, but sometimes making the playoffs is not, is not the goal. The goal is to get further and make the Super Bowl. And I'm
Yeah,
not talking
and it
about them making the Super Bowl per se. It's just that, what can they do to further their progression?
yeah, even if it's just a AFC Championship game appearance, it's a big improvement because then it shows like okay, this Chargers team has what it takes to make it to the championship. Now the question remains is can they close it out?
Right, right, exactly. And who knows? That's why I lay the question is, because you have to question everything now, to get them to the next step. Is Justin Herbert the guy? And to be honest, there's a lot of questions in what his ceiling is. And so, could they look for a veteran quarterback that could get them to the next stage? I don't even know who that would be. Or could they look to getting younger again?
I
Because
know
first thing you want to
I know a guy
do, who's that guy? Oh,
super
Cam
super
Newton?
Cam.
Oh my God. You know, you know. Oh no,
You
no.
can't rule anything out in the
Yeah.
NFL. You can't rule anything out.
I could only see that happening if Justin Herbert were to get hurt.
Yeah, because you need a veteran quarterback. Like look what happened with the Jets when Aaron Rodgers got hurt in the first drive. They only had Zach Wilson, who wasn't that good, and then they didn't have a veteran quarterback, and they were in limbo like the whole year because they didn't have a solid option at quarterback.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
So I think a lot of people don't realize how important the backup quarterback is, and even a third string quarterback. Like you see a lot of teams only have two quarterbacks, and you see some that have like three. It's like I feel like it's safer to have three quarterbacks.
yeah. Oh, did we lose Ryan?
You still have one more uh you have one more guy to potentially fill the void.
Right,
And
exactly.
I know for the Chargers they don't really have a veteran quarterback. Well, they do, but they don't have like a solid veteran that could,
Yeah,
keep the team afloat.
exactly. Yeah, and quarterback and quarterbacks that are actually going to make a huge difference on your team. There's not like a whole lot of them in the NFL right now. There's a lot of prospects that you can say maybe this guy has potential, maybe not. It's either a veteran like a guy that's been a journeyman his whole, for like 12, 13 years, or you're going to depend on a rookie. So there's not a lot of promise other than the guys that you have that are your starting quarterback right now.
Yeah, and a lot of these teams they can't just keep waiting till the draft for the quarterback of the future because they might not have their quarterback of the future in the draft. Like I know if it's not next year, I know a big quarterback to look out for in the NFL draft, and whether it's next
Oh,
year or in
Arch
2 years,
Manning?
is Arch Manning. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's going to
Dude,
be a
every
lot of
team.
teams. There's going to be a lot of
I
teams
mean,
scouting him
yeah.
and gunning for him.
Like not every team, but there's gonna, like you said, a lot of teams. Basically, it's the name on the back of his jersey that the teams are going to be wanting him because look at the lineage.
Look at the potential he has. He has, Eli Manning, who won 2 Super Bowls, who is
Yeah.
probably the greatest quarterback the Giants have had, or at least one of.
No, he's the greatest
Yeah.
quarterback in Giants history.
Yeah. And then you have Peyton Manning, the greatest quarterback in NFL history.
I
So,
agree. I agree.
yeah. And like, I know that's up for debate, but it's like just the way Peyton Manning played the game was such a different level we hadn't really seen out of quarterbacks. Like
Yeah.
even defenses have said, be like, oh, Peyton Manning audibles, forget it.
People
Forget
will say
it.
Tom Brady's the GOAT because he has the rings, and that's undeniable. But technically, if we're talking about skill, or it's Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, and like, cause I remember hearing stuff where defenses were like, if Peyton Manning audibles, forget it. Forget it. You're done. They're like, nobody could audible and improvise better than Peyton Manning could.
I don't even think Peyton Manning had any plays like where he was behind, like directly behind the center. It was all shotgun.
Yeah, and and it doesn't work for a lot of guys, but for a guy like Peyton Manning who's so talented, it's like man, it's hard to defend the shotgun, especially with a guy like Peyton Manning, because he could just see something and call it audible and just like, oh well, there he goes.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. But
I still remember when he had that one play against the Cowboys where he had the bootleg and he ran it in for a touchdown.
Oh,
Slowest touchdown ever, but
exactly.
But he fooled everybody. He fooled the Broncos. He fooled the Cowboys. He even fooled the cameraman.
Yeah. I
remember watching that play. I was just like, man. I was like, you have to be that good if you're fooling everybody on the field, even the camera guy.
Exactly.
So anyway, switching gears,
Switching gears, let's talk about your LA, aka Anaheim Angels. So what's going on with them? I mean, look at year after year. Look at you guys already have your World Series banner.
Yes,
already made.
Yes, we beat the Dodgers. Sweep both series, both in LA and Anaheim. 6-0. And we won 7 in a row because we won the last game of last season. But what I gotta say about my Angels is they have the talent to be a good baseball team, but they can't win those close games. That's what I've noticed. They have the hitters, their pitching is improved, but they can't win those close games.
They can't, and it's kind of like just puzzling. Well, there's a lot of factors into why the Angels stink every single year. It's honestly the organization, it's the front office, management,
injuries
play a huge part of it. Yeah, contracts, and that's the thing too. They're still paying Rendon, or what's his name? Yeah, Rendon.
Anthony Rendon, and that, in my opinion, is probably the worst contract in the history of baseball.
Probably, exactly. It's a lot of bad luck. It's a lot of stupid decisions that the Angels have made, and honestly, Shohei Ohtani, yeah, you can call him traitor or whatever if you're an Angels fan, but Shohei Ohtani had to get out of there because he was going nowhere with the Angels.
He did what he had to do. Like, I still like Shohei. Like, yes, I call him a traitor, but I don't actually like. It's like, no, sometimes players need a change of scenery.
Exactly, and
like, look, his first year as a Dodger, he won a well-deserved ring.
But if the Angels were even somewhat competitive, I think he would have stayed.
Yeah, like even if they're not like winning the World Series, like even if they're like a wild card team or in wild card contention, I think it would have been like, all right, Shohei would have been like, okay, we're almost there.
Yeah, I think that would have given him more reason to stay and more competitive because he had the market, dude. I remember going to an Angels game 2 years ago, and man, the entire place was just marketed towards Shohei.
Yeah, it's like how it was for Mike Trout when he was, the guy. It's like everybody that went to an Angel game, they went to go see Mike Trout, where when Shohei was there, everybody went to go see Shohei.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but he looked at the Dodgers and he said, you know what, that's a winning situation, winning ball club. I'm a winner. I'm going to get out of there. But that's neither here or there now.
But one thing I can say with the Angels, even though they have a losing record right now, they're still like, it may not be like the traditional competitive, but they're still like they're still within 3, 4, or 5 games within the 500 mark,
Yeah, and they're
which
not, yeah, eliminated
which
from playoff contention.
not yet, mathematically not yet,
Yeah,
because they are still, while the odds are slim, they are technically still in the wild card
right,
race. It's very, very slim, but they're not out of it yet.
right, exactly. And so, what do you think that the Angels have to do going forward just to be able to get to a respectable level?
I think what the Angels need to do for one, I think they need to get like better management, better leadership, and they need to show more like consistency. And like one thing I noticed with the trade deadline, they didn't really make any moves. And I feel like that's one thing they should have done is they should have been making moves, even if they weren't like big like blockbuster moves. They should have moved some pieces around, to at least
Yeah,
be like, okay, you know what, we may not be World Series contenders, but we still got a chance to be a playoff team.
right, exactly. Yeah, and I think it's really just showing your players, hey, we're gonna support you guys by trying to do as much as we can to bring in talent to support you guys to make this team a winning, contending team again. Like, I mean, look at the Dodgers, man. The Dodgers, their ownership, there is no limit to what they can do to be able to
Yeah,
in a year in,
and
year out winning ball
and
club.
they're smart with their contracts because they only sign. I think the longest contract they sign is like 5 years.
Right, exactly. And then Shohei's money is deferred, so
Yeah.
they're able
See,
to.
they're smart. It's because like they spend the money, but they also save that same money.
Now the rules are different, but now the Dodgers owner Mark Walter owns the Lakers now. And so
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
yeah,
That's right. I saw
having
that. Yeah.
having his acumen, having seen what he's done with the Dodgers, now implementing that with the Lakers. Now it's obviously way different in terms of salary cap and everything, but that same kind of competitive drive is going to be transferred.
Yeah. Yeah. Like one thing, it raises another question too. It's been a debate for years now. Is should baseball have a salary cap?
You know what? I mean, if baseball had a salary cap, the Dodgers wouldn't be in the position that they were that they're in
Yeah,
right now.
that's why it's a constant topic of debate because people are like, look, you have teams like the Yankees, Mets, and Dodgers signing like the best of the best, and then you have like the teams that you know don't have as much money. They barely have enough to sign like one or two big like
But you
stars.
know what? Here's the thing about baseball too. Um, there's always different teams in the World Series every year.
Oh yeah. And I look at it like this: baseball, it's a tale of two seasons because you have pre All Star break, and then you
Yep.
have post All Star break.
Right,
It's
exactly.
literally a tale of two seasons.
You could even say like pre All-Star break. It's more like preseason. It's like it's an extended
Yeah,
preseason.
yeah,
It really doesn't matter.
especially because you have teams that are dealing with injuries, and then post All Star break, those players are coming back, and now it's like, all right, now it's time to really see what we're made of. What do we got?
Exactly. Yep, exactly. Now you're going into August, September, and now this is like really
Yeah,
just crunch time for everybody.
yeah. Like look, like for example, like pre All Star break, the Dodgers had like a commanding lead in the division, and
Yep,
then post All Star break, the Padres overtook them. I know the Dodgers have the lead again, but that goes to show how much of a difference you know
exactly. And baseball
like
is
a
such a
break can make.
and baseball is such an up and down season. You can start off really hot and end really bad. You can start off really badly, heat up, and then kind of just middle out. That's
Yeah,
why I'm saying like,
yeah. And with me being an Angels fan, I know how that feels because literally it was what like 2, 3 years ago we started off like really hot, and then we
yeah,
lost 14 games in a row, and that literally destroyed our season.
exactly.
Like if we had played at the same level at the start, we would have been a playoff team.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no
But
doubt.
then when we went on that losing streak, that literally destroyed our season.
Right, exactly. Yep. Well, baseball isn't over yet, and the Angels still could possibly make the playoffs, but just in
They would have a lot would have to go their way. A lot would have to go right. They pretty much would have to have a perfect rest of their season to have a shot.
Exactly. But more importantly, I think the Angels organization is such a it's a wreck right now. Like there's no respect behind the Angels name. You know, you have loyal fans like you, like who will go to the games, but like
Yeah.
there's no buzz around the team.
Yeah,
There's not
and one thing I can say is like Angel Stadium is not that bad of a ballpark. It's a beautiful looking ballpark.
Oh, I drove past it yesterday and it's nice to see it
Yeah,
freeway.
yeah, it's a beautiful looking ballpark, but it's just like it sucks that they can't really fill seats.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and then like even when you do go, even if it's like a back and forth game, it's like the crowd isn't into it until like the eighth or ninth inning when they have a chance to win it.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah.
Because like I know I went to a game like a couple weeks ago. They played the Rays. Angels is bottom of the eighth, bases loaded. They were down by a run,
Mm-hmm.
3 straight strikeouts, and
Damn.
they failed to score.
And see, that's just disappointment. But it's also baseball in
Yeah,
a nutshell as well.
and that's what I said about like they can't close. They can't win the close games.
Right. They're there, but they're not there.
Yeah, it's because you know what they always say: the good teams, no matter what sport it is, good teams win close games.
Exactly. Yeah, and they find wins. Find ways to win.
Even if wins are ugly, it's just like, hey, you know what? A win's a win. We pulled it out.
Exactly. Yeah. And the Angels are not there yet. And to be honest, there's no like outlook to say, hey, like we're gonna have a great future because who knows? Like the Angels could still be in a rut in 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years.
And when you really look at it, they really only have one star player, and it's Mike Trout, and he's not who he used to be.
No, he's already getting older.
He can still produce. Don't get me wrong. He can still produce. He's still a quality, solid player, but he ain't what he used to be.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, definitely. Well, Angels fans, I wanted to cover the Chargers and the Angels today because it's been a slow week in sports, and I really don't ever cover the Angels and the Chargers too much.
Yeah, but it's one of those kids, like you said, it's slow, but it's nice because it's like they still are LA teams, so it's like you got to show some love to the LA teams, even if it's just like a little like gloss over, like like this is how could be how they do this coming season, like
Exactly. Yep. But anyways, Ryan, we'll cap it right there. I want to thank you for coming on, and we're gonna produce another Wrestling with Ryan on Saturday.
yeet,
Yeet. Yeet.
yeet.
Yep. So look out for that, guys. This should be another good one. Thank you for guys for listening to this podcast and Wrestling with Ryan and everything that we do. Ryan's a big part of it.
Yeet.
Yeet. 4 letters, 1 word.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Wait,
Exactly.
wait. Say that again.
4 letters, 1 word.
Stop.
Stop. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Until next time, you can't see us.
Yeet.